You know, there are a number of television shows, a number of artists that have really supported the gay community.
Susan, I'm gay.
All right, fine, I'll do it, okay? God. Tonight at dinner, I'll tell my mother I'm gay.
All of America watches TV and movies, so without a doubt, and that Ellen, I have to say that Ellen scene was probably one of my all-time favorite moments in television. It was brilliant. That whole episode was great. And I made a comment earlier about, you know, she was in the closet for a long time, then came out. That's also a very important journey to take. It's a really good path to take, because all of America always did love Ellen. And you know, you come out and what, you don't love me now just because, I mean, I'm not sleeping with you, I'm not sleeping with your daughter, you know, like, what is the big deal?
Dave, I'm very curious to see what you think about shows like Queer Eye for the Straight Guy and the way gay men are represented, because, you know, not all gay guys are like flamboyant and like, you know, super queeny, you know, so what are your thoughts? Like, do you ever get offended by those kinds of shows?
It's really, really tough, because look, you want to see out people, so just on face value for that, it's great that they're out there. But yes, there is this bizarre acceptance, as we talked about a little earlier, that lesbians can sort of still do a series of things and really be who they are, and for some reason, especially in reality TV, the gay guys are still the sidekick or the assistant or the hairdresser or all the queer guy, you know, the Queer Eye guys, even though that's a couple of years ago. But so we, in that regard, we haven't changed that much. We're still on Bravo. We're still the extra thing next to the housewife. I remember watching Rosie on The View, and she said something about her mother-in-law.
Give me a kiss right here. Mwah! It's my mother-in-law.
And I thought, wow, that was incredible. I never heard a gay person say mother-in-law before. And I don't even know that she was technically married at the time, but she just went ahead and used the phrase, and I thought just that in itself was pretty great.
RuPaul is amazing. I've met RuPaul. I worship all the strides that he has made, but RuPaul should never be used as a spokesperson for the transsexual community. He's an out gay man who dresses like a woman. And that speaks to a misperception a lot of the gay community has, that trans people are just the most feminine of gay men or the most butch of lesbians. And pop culture also gets that wrong so much. We're always either prostitutes, psychos, or punchlines in every movie, or the fourth P, poor thing, you know, it's the tragedy. We've moved up from the scary psycho killer in old movies like, you know, Silence of the Lambs and Psycho. Now we're sort of at the clown stage, I think. If you need an easy laugh, if you need, you know, a heart-tugging episode of Law and Order or something, you pull out the sad transsexual who's been murdered or beaten.
All right, now I'm gonna get a little uncomfortable, but I have to for the sake of this conversation. It's kind of interesting that, you know, in pornography, anal sex is such a popular, you know, type of pornography, and usually when it's a man and a woman, and you know, the man is having anal sex with a woman, it's acceptable. There's nothing wrong with it. But whenever you take two men and you consider them having anal sex, people get the ick factor from it. So why is that? Why are people so grossed out by that? And why is it that lesbian sex is something that people can fantasize about and they're so excited about? I mean, even considering the fact that these lesbians have absolutely no interest in fucking you.
Well, I'm excited about lesbian sex.
Anyway, anal sex and pornography and straight pornography, I think, is about debasing the woman a lot of times. It's you know, not this is so clinical. It's not using the orifice that she might receive the most pleasure from. It's using, I can't believe I'm saying this on camera, but you know, it's really, I think it's about debasing and devaluing the woman in the porn. And in gay porn, the men are seeing a man get debased in their minds and devalued in that way, and it's profoundly disturbing. It's, again, challenging their masculinity and their gender identity.
What do you guys think about singers like Lady Gaga? Do you feel like she's genuine in her pro-gay message, or do you feel like she's kind of taken on the gay community as a way of becoming a successful artist?
I almost think it doesn't matter if it's sincere. I do tend to think with Lady Gaga that it is basically sincere, but in a way it doesn't matter. If her whole message is so pro-gay and has been so good for young people, that at the end of the day, if she really wasn't pro-gay and had somehow tricked us all to think she was and done so much good in the process, I can't really see a problem with that.